Hello there, folks. My name is Spoonks, and I saw Strays, and I loved it. Now, I was really looking forward to this movie. I thought the trailers were all very, very funny, and I just loved the concept of an R-rated talking dog movie. I don't know why, it just intrigued me a lot, and I was very excited to see this movie. It looked like it had a lot of potential, and I'm happy to report that this movie did not disappoint, as I had a blast with this movie. First off, the most important thing with a comedy, especially an R-rated one, is if the movie is funny. And fortunately, this movie was very, very funny. I laughed out loud several times and very consistently. A lot of the jokes just worked for me, whether it be the banter between the characters, the ridiculousness of the situation, how they poke fun and subvert the typical tropes of these types of talking dog movies. It was all done very well. Granted, a lot of it is juvenile and immature, and it is very, very raunchy, very rated R, lots of gross out stuff, and they do get a lot of mileage and do a lot more with the concept of R-rated dogs than I thought they were able to. So if you can handle all the stuff I said, if that sounds appealing to you, I guess, I think you're gonna like this movie as much as I did, because the comedy just really landed for me. A lot of it was just very funny, and I was laughing throughout. Something about it just worked for me, honestly. I also really enjoyed the story here. It is basically your typical talking dog movie where they have to find their way back home, but with an R-rated touch. And I think they did a good job with making me invested, making me care about the characters. And the movie also, the pacing is also very solid. It moves by super fast. It's also a very short movie, by the way, so it just goes by quick. You don't feel like your time was wasted at all, pretty much. I thought it had the perfect length. It never dragged. It never slowed down. And it also never moved too fast. I was just fully invested. It also, by the way, this movie is somewhat of an allegory for like being in a toxic relationship. And I actually thought they handled that part of the film very well here, unlike something like Renfield. First off, this is the main focus of the movie, so they give you enough time to spend with the characters and make you care about the certain situations, but it never felt forced, it never felt ham-fisted, and they actually did some pretty solid stuff with the Reggie character going through the realization that he's in a toxic relationship with his owner, and I thought all of that stuff was really well done and very well handled here. Speaking of the characters, I liked a lot of the characters here. They all have great chemistry. They played off of each other very well, and the voice acting really helped here. Jamie Foxx was the standout. He was hilarious and had me cracking up throughout the entire movie. But also Will Ferrell, Randall Park, and Isla Fisher were also standouts here as well. I thought they really brought a lot to the characters they played and made the characters shine a lot. The characters were also just written very well and were just very entertaining and likable, with some of them even getting a bit more explored and revealed about them, kind of similar to what happened with Super Pets. There's one of the dogs has a backstory, and I thought that was also handled very well and made me cared about their character a lot. And then there's the ending, folks. I won't reveal how it all goes down or how the film resolves its main conflict, but my God, this is probably the best ending to a movie I have seen all year, or at least it's my personal favorite ending of the year. Just the way things go down and how the climax turns out, it is absolutely hilarious, worth the price of admission. I'll just say that the trailer promises you something and it delivers on that. However, folks, this movie isn't perfect, as I do feel there are a couple issues holding this movie back from making it perfect for me. First off, this is pretty much synonymous with a lot of these talking dog movies, but sometimes the lip sync animation or the animation on the dog's mouths, sometimes it looks a bit jarring and noticeable. Like, for the most part, it didn't really bother me. It actually looked pretty solid in certain points, but there are definitely moments in the movie where you can tell, like, okay, the dog is just standing there and someone had to animate a lip syncing over it. It just looks very jarring at certain points, unfortunately. unfortunately. I know this is pretty much common with like these talking dog movies, but still, it just looks a bit jarring to me. And as typical with a lot of comedies, not every joke lands. Like I said, there are a lot of juvenile, immature jokes here. And while most of them worked, there are some here that stick out like a sore thumb that just didn't land for me, unfortunately. Basically, these jokes stinking was just because the joke was just essentially, haha, the dog said a naughty word or did a naughty thing. And while, again, most of the comedy work, these types of jokes just didn't land for me. It was just like, yeah, this is scraping the bottom of the barrel. Let's get back to the actually funny comedy stuff here. But despite those flaws, I still really enjoyed Strays. This is hands down one of the funniest movies I've seen this year. I was laughing throughout pretty much the entire thing. The story was well done. The allegory for toxic relationships I thought was really well handled and executed. The characters were really likable, and the ending is without a doubt my favorite ending of the year. If you are a fan of these types of talking dog movies and want to see an R-rated adult, very raunchier take on it, I'd say go check out and see it. Or if you just want to see something silly, stupid, and dumb, I'd say go check it out. I highly recommend it. I had a really good time with this. And those were my thoughts on Strays. What did you all think of it? If you've seen it, did you like it? Did you hate it? Comment down below and let me know. If you like this video, hit the like button. If you like this channel, hit the subscribe button. Follow me on all the social media links at the end of the video. And until next time, everyone, stay sharp.